A huge leak suggests that an Xbox One exclusive will finally get its sequel on the Xbox Series X. Just how much money does the Xbox division makes? And it's more than you probably think. And all the entertainment apps that will be available to you on day one, November 10th, including a brand new one. There's a lot here to talk about, so let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? It's Randall Thor19, the man with the million, back again with another video. Hope everyone's having a great day, and if you guys could do me a huge favor, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and please share this video out on social media. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the support. Now, before we get into the video, guys, make sure you head over to the community section. I made a post the other day asking you guys for any questions that you want answered regarding the Xbox Series X. I have a lot of coverage coming really soon, multiple videos coming out every single day, and one of the videos I am planning on doing is answering the questions that you guys have. So if you haven't put your questions down, head over to the community tab and ask your question, and I will do my best to answer it. Make sure you subscribe because there's a ton of Xbox Series X coverage coming really soon. We are so close, guys. Exactly 1 week away, 7 days from the launch of the Xbox Series X and S. Can almost taste it. I am incredibly excited for next generation to start. And in this video, we got a bunch of topics. One being that Microsoft finally detailed all the entertainment apps that will be available to you, including a brand new one on November 10th. You've heard all the memes, I'm sure, about how Xbox doesn't really make any money. We're gonna put that myth to bed with how much money the Xbox division actually generates. But the big topic for this video has been highly requested. I got a lot of DMs regarding this leak for an Xbox One exclusive finally getting its sequel on the Xbox Series X, and if I think it's true. So let's start with that, shall we? Now, late last week, a Twitter user posted some internal documents from the developer Crytek, which seems to say that they might be pitching or already developing a sequel to Ryse Son of Rome, the Xbox One launch title in 2013, and it's dubbed Ryse Next. So is it possible we will see a sequel to that game on the Xbox Series X? The article goes on to say, alleged leaked Crytek documents suggest that the developer is planning or pitching several new titles, including a new Ryse installment alongside remasters of Crysis 2 and 3. Last week, tons of internal files from Ubisoft and Crytek are said to have leaked, weighing in at roughly 700 gigabytes of data. As posted by Twitter user @PokeProtos, the leaked Crytek documents mentioned the following projects: Crysis Next, Crysis VR, Hunt Mobile, Ryse Next, and Robinson 2. At this point, the status of these mentioned projects are unclear. If the leak is legitimate, these projects could have been pitched, planned, or possibly canceled. In the documents, Crysis Next is being described as Crytek's very own free-to-play battle royale title with a very high production value. And then they have an image here of Crysis Next that says, hey, it's a free-to-play battle royale game where hundreds of players collide in a fast-paced combat, visual customization, adaptive nanosuit powers, and visually spectacular combat in an immersive world creates the ultimate live streaming experience. The Crysis franchise has all the features to make a battle royale stand out: the gameplay, the style, and setting, high production value. Interestingly, Crytek also appears to be planning on releasing remasters of Crysis 2 and Crysis 3, giving earlier rumors more credibility. Crysis Remastered 2 has been mentioned with the release past August, although this has likely been the title's original release date, with Crysis Remastered having been delayed as well. The release date for the sequel is thought to have been pushed back as well. Crysis 3 Remastered has been listed for release in February of 2021, with a remastered collection releasing in May 2021. Now, while I'm a huge fan of the Crysis series, I love Crysis 1 when I played it on the 360. I adored Crysis 2. I spent hundreds of hours in the multiplayer, and I thought Crysis 3 was pretty cool. I am interested in them being remastered for next generation. But the point of this video isn't to talk about Crysis, it's to talk about Ryse, because I think Ryse Son of Rome needs a sequel. It's one of those Xbox One exclusives that got a single game where if you said, you know what, pick a game to get a sequel that could be really improved, Ryse would be the one. And that's saying something because I am a Remedy fanboy. I really enjoyed Control and I absolutely loved Quantum Break. Like, I would die for a sequel to Quantum Break 2. But if you're talking about a game that could be really improved from the first, it's all about Ryse Son of Rome. It was a great looking title for its time, 2013. It was kind of buried under the resolution debacle. It ran at 900p, and the gameplay was criticized for being, as Simon says, when you would attack an enemy, it'd be blue, yellow, red, all that stuff. I get the complaints. It's not as bad as the Metacritic score would have you believe at 60, although I do think a lot of reviewers took out their frustrations on Xbox as a platform and the things that they tried to do on Ryse. So yes, I would absolutely love a Ryse sequel for the Xbox Series X. We know that Global Publishing is partnering with many different developers. We only know one of those projects, that's As Dusk Falls, which was revealed at the July Game Showcase. So it's entirely possible that Microsoft, through the Xbox Global Publishing, reached out to Crytek to get a new Ryse game funded. After all, one of the real reasons we didn't see a sequel for this game during the Xbox One generation was because of a dispute between Xbox and Crytek. You see, Crytek owns the Ryse IP. Nowadays, Xbox retains the IP ownership of the games they fund. But at the start of the Xbox One generation, it wasn't the case, which is why Crytek owns the Ryse IP, and which is why now, because they bought Insomniac, Sony and PlayStation own the Sunset Overdrive IP. Now, as far as I have been told, there was a Ryse sequel in development, and Microsoft and Crytek just couldn't come to terms with ownership of the IP and all that stuff. So it's entirely possible that they have put their differences inside and come together to fund this game, although I have my doubts. Now, I'm not really doubting the legitimacy of this leak. I think most of this is true. I just have my doubts that Ryse Next is currently in development. Personally, I do think this game was being worked on, a sequel for Ryse, but because of the disputes between Microsoft and Crytek, it was probably one of those games that was silently canceled. This is one of those things where I would absolutely love to be wrong. I'm not always right about everything. I would love for a Ryse sequel to be on the Xbox Series X. Could you imagine what that game would look like on next generation? Because it already looks pretty damn good on the Xbox One, running at 900p, and I've actually replayed it recently and it still holds up. So let me know in the comments below, do you believe this leak? Do you think Ryse Next is actually being worked on, and would you like to see a sequel for Ryse on Xbox Series X? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, next up, we're going to be talking about Xbox revenue, because I deal with this almost all the time on Twitter and in social media, and especially on YouTube, that Microsoft doesn't make any money with the Xbox division, and they're one short step away from getting shut down. Now, I always say that's not true. The last couple years, Xbox as the division has brought in more money than any time in their history, but these people don't believe me. So we're going to be talking about this, and we got some tweets here from the one and only Z Huge, an industry analyst, where he says that Microsoft was reporting that its Q1 fiscal year 2021, which is from July to September, the gaming revenue was up 22% year over year. This was primarily driven by an increase in content and services revenue, up 30% year over year, driven by software sales and Game Pass subs. You can see there for Microsoft Gaming, gaming revenue grew 22%, up 21% CC, and Xbox content and services revenue grew 30%, driven by strength from third-party titles, Xbox Game Pass subscriptions, and first-party titles. Now, this is the first time I've actually seen Microsoft call out strength via their first-party titles. It's been a long time since they mentioned that, and you'd probably have to go back to the launch of Halo 5 Guardians to see Microsoft specifically call out first-party as a driver of Xbox revenue. Z Huge goes on to say that being said, the only thing I can say for sure is from the first tweet. Xbox total gaming revenue was up 22% year over year, which means it generated around $3.1 billion in the quarter, the majority being content and services sales, which was up 30% year over year. Z Huge goes on to say, so here is the good news for Xbox. Its multi-platform content and service strategy is paying off. This would be the best Q1 on record for the gaming segment, and it is on track for another record year in terms of revenue. Here is a look at annual revenue for the gaming segment. As you can see from the graph, Xbox is doing just fine. Yes, it doesn't make as much money as PlayStation. PlayStation has sold more consoles, they sell more games, they have more PlayStation Plus subscriptions than Xbox have Gold members. All that is true, but of course there's always room for more than one competitor. Just because Coke sells more products than Pepsi doesn't mean Pepsi is losing. And that is what I think people don't really understand here. Yes, PlayStation makes more money, but Xbox is doing really good for themselves. The last couple years, Xbox revenue has been at their highest point, and like Z Huge says right here, this would be the best Q1 on record. And with the launch of the new systems coming and everybody buying new games in Game Pass, don't be surprised if this fiscal year will be the best year ever in terms of revenue for Xbox. Now, for the last topic of this video, we're going to be talking about the media apps that will be available on November 10th. Microsoft says, just as we're bringing forward all the games that play on Xbox One today, we're excited to announce that your favorite entertainment apps you enjoy today on Xbox One will be available on the Series X and Series S. That means your favorite streaming apps like Netflix, Disney+, HBO Max, Spotify, YouTube TV, Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, NBC Peacock, Vudu, Fandango, Now, Twitch, Sky Go, Now TV, Sky Ticket, and more will be waiting for you when you boot up your new Xbox console on November 10th. And finally, Apple TV is coming to the Xbox consoles. When our all-new Xbox family of consoles launch worldwide on November 10th, you'll have more than just the entertainment apps you enjoy on Xbox One. We're excited to share that Apple TV app is coming to Xbox One in the Series X and Series S on November 10th, and the Apple TV app gives you access to thousands of shows and movies from one convenient location, allowing you to enjoy Apple TV Plus, Apple TV channels, brand new and popular movies, and personalized entertainment recommendations. So a potential sequel to Ryse being made for the Series X, Apple TV coming to Xbox consoles, and Xbox is doing just fine. They might have a record year. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, share this video out on social media, or tell a friend about the channel. If you want to be notified every single time I drop a new video, make sure you hit that notification bell. It's right next to the subscribe button. Just click it and you'll be good to go. If you want to take your support for the channel even further, you can hit the join button where you get access to channel badges and emotes for the Xbox 2 podcast we do every single Friday. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. It means so much to me, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Thank you guys.